Alright, so we've been learning about how to multiply fractions. Today we're going to look at day 112, and there's a scenario here that we're going to work to solve. You do not have to copy this chart here. Again, you do not have to copy this chart here in your notes. You should already have this page from your notebook to glue in. If you don't have the page from your notebook, then you would need to copy the chart. But I've already told you that you needed this page for homework tonight, so you should already have this page in your notebook or in your homework folder to be able to glue into your notebook. So we're going to work through this. The instructions on your page say the results of a canned food drive at Pond Elementary are displayed below, which is right here. Your task is to determine the fraction of cans collected by each grade. For each grade, draw a fraction bar to prove your reasoning. So it says that the school as a whole collected 3/4 tons of cans. Okay, they're collecting cans for recycling. So it means that 3/4 of a ton was collected by all the grade levels at the school who collected cans. Okay, so this was their total amount of cans that 5th through 3rd grade or 3rd through 5th grade collected. So if I look at a fraction bar here, if this bar were to represent an entire ton, that means at Pond Elementary they were able to collect they were actually able to collect 3/4 of that entire ton. So I'm going to make 4 sections here. And I'm going to color in 1, 2, 3. That represents the 3/4 tons that the school collected. Okay. Then what I need to do is let's work with 5th grade first. So I'm going to label my little fraction bar over here and say this is going to represent what 5th grade collected. Of those 3/4 tons, 5th grade collected half of those 3/4. Okay, so that means I'm really finding out 1/2 times 3/4 for 5th grade. 1/2 times 3/4, because 5th grade collected half of 3/4, and this little sign can interchangeably mean of. Okay, so that means I'm going to take my whole fraction bar and split it in half. Okay, because 5th grade collected half of these 3/4. Okay, they collected half of 3/4. So I can't just shade in one piece here. I've got to shade in half of all 3/4. Okay, so that means this section right here is what 5th grade collected. They collected, whoops, I'm sorry, trying to get my markers here. They collected 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, they didn't collect, I'm sorry, I'm just counting all my spaces. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they collected 1, 2, 3/8 of the entire can, of all the cans collected in the school. So this equals 3/8. That's what 5th grade collected, 3/8 of a ton. Half of the 3/4 was 3/8. Okay, if I want to check that with multiplying, 1 times 3 equals 3, and 2 times 4 equals 4. Because when I multiply fractions, I just multiply numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. When I'm asking myself, is it reasonable? Is 3/8 a reasonable answer for this problem? Yes, because 3/8 is less than, that's the sign for less than, 1/2 and 3/4. My answer, my product, always needs to be less than my two factors here. And 3/8 is smaller than 3/4. It's also smaller than 1/2. Okay? So we're going to move on to trying to figure out fourth grade. We're going to draw another fraction bar on the next page. Fourth grade collected 1/6 of the 3/4 tons of cans. So I'm going to turn to my next page. I have fourth grade here. They collected 1/6 of, I know that can be either sign, 3/4. So I'm going to draw my whole school's fraction bar again of cans. And I know that Pond Elementary collected 3/4. So I separated into 4 sections and I shade in 3 of those. Now, fourth grade collected 1/6 of the 3/4. So that means I need to separate this into 6 sections and shade in 1 of those sections. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and separate it into 6 sections. So I'm going to go, I'll do it with a different color so that you can see it clearly. I'm going to go 1 section, 2 sections, 3 sections, 4 sections, 5, 6 sections. Remember that last line actually makes 2 sections at the bottom. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections that I separated it into. Now fourth grade collected 1/6 of all 3 of those fourths. So they collected 1/6 here, here, and here. Okay, so this top little bar represents what fourth grade collected. So that means they collected 1, 2, 3, and my numerator's 3, out of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That means they collected 3/24 of a ton. Okay, that can also be reduced. Can divide by 3 here, divide by 3 here. That can be reduced. They collected 1/8 of a ton. 1/8 and 3/24 are the same fractions. One is just in reduced or simplest form. Okay, so 1/8 is in simplest form. Now, my equation, I can go back and check. 1 times 3 was 3. 6 times 4 is 24. And I know 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 24 divided by 3 is 8 when I reduced it there. Now, thinking about, is it reasonable? Okay. Yes, it's reasonable because 1/8, which is my reduced fraction, or you could say 3/24, they're the same thing, is less than 1/6 and 3/4. My product, 3/24 or 1/8, is less than my factors, 3/4 and 1/6. I know when I multiply 2 fractions, my product should always be smaller or less than my factors. Okay. For third grade, I want you to pause the video and try to figure it out, making sure you include your equation, your answer, and if it's reasonable, and your model. I want you to figure out third grade, so pause the video. I'm going to solve it here, but pause and try to solve third grade on your own. Okay? Or you can mute the video and start working it out and peek back up at the video to see if you're on the right track. Okay? All right, so third grade, if I look at my chart, it says third grade collected 1/3 of the cans. Okay, so this means it's 1/3 of 3/4, or it's 1/3 times 3/4. Okay, again, I'm going to draw my entire bar for my school. And I know that this school collected 3/4 of a can. Or excuse me, 3/4 of a ton. Not 3/4 of a can. So I'm going to separate it into 4 parts. Shade in 3 of those parts because that's what the school collected. Now of that, of the 3/4 that the school collected, 3rd grade collected 1/3 of this section right here. So that means I'm going to separate this into 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. And 3rd grade collected 1/3 of each of those 3/4. Each of those 3/4. So that means 3rd grade collected 1, 2, 3 out of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They collected 3/12 of all the cans, or 3/12 of a ton. Okay, which can be reduced. I can divide by 3, divide by 3. So I can say 3 divided by 3 is 1, 12 divided by 3 is 4. Whenever you reduce a fraction, you're trying to divide your numerator and your denominator by the same number. See, I divided by 3 on both ends. So it reduces to 1/4. If I think about the equation, 1 times 3 is 3, and 3 times 4 is 12. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. Is it reasonable? Okay. Yes. Because 3/12 or 1/4 is less than 1/3 and 3/4. Okay, my product 1/4 or 3/12 is less than my factors 3/4 and 1/3. And we know when we multiply 2 regular fractions, my product should always be less than my 2 factors. Okay? Tomorrow in class, we're going to try some more practice problems similar to this with models. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.